And it's like, this is your person. You know what I mean? We are in this together, and it's so great feeling free to know that somebody is gonna love you no matter what. Hey guys, it's Faith Duo.
Back with another video.
And we are here because we want to give you Bible answers to everyday topics.
So if you're interested in marriage, or you're married, or you want to know what God's design for marriage is, this is for you.
Over 62% of Americans don't even believe that marriage is important anymore, according to a 2020 survey.
How many?
62%?
Wow. And also 50% of people get a divorce. So half of everybody that's getting married is getting divorced.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is.
That's not encouraging for the up and coming marriages, and it's not good for the kids either. You know, it's like a cycle.
Right. Well, something's wrong. So your marriage is not blessed unless,
well, who gives blessings? God does. Psalms 119 says that God blesses those who keeps his testimonies or his laws. So basically, are you keeping his laws when it comes to marriage? How does God define marriage?
Yeah, that's the first question. What is marriage? How's it defined?
Right. So let's see what Genesis 2:23 through 24 says about what God says a marriage is. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh." So it's with a man and a woman, and they have to leave their parents, come together, and be one flesh.
Yep.
Okay?
So it's something that was given by God and not by man. It's instituted by God, not by man. So everything is based on his authority with marriage.
Right. So why do we need to be married? I mean, you don't have to be married, but why do you need to be married?
Well, we have the desires of trying to be, I think, with somebody, but God said it's not good for man to be alone, and so he created a helpmate for him.
Right.
He created Eve.
So for a helpmate, and so you don't have to be alone, company, love. And then also, 1 Corinthians 7:2 is to avoid our fleshly desire, fornication. That should be happening within marriage only.
Right. He says that it's better to marry than to burn with either passion or burn with lust. And so if you have that desire, you need to go ahead and marry so that you won't be, have that temptation.
Right.
So what does marriage really look like when you are married?
Well, I think as it says, we're supposed to be one flesh. We're supposed to be a helpmate, a friend. And the Bible goes into those several topics. But the number one thing to remember is to not get caught up in the cultural idea, a fairy tale definition of what a marriage looks like. It's not about how beautiful that connection is when you first get together. It's about keeping that beautiful connection forever, and so
yeah, and I think, like you said, everybody dreams of the fairy tale, and that's fine, but we have to realize the reality of it is you have to love sacrificially, putting that person above you at all times. We heard that in the counseling, 0-100.
Right.
So it's always 0 or 100% of your effort, your love, not expecting anything back from the other person.
And it's work. It's constant work. I mean, Raphael and I, we are constantly working to meet one another's needs. It's about compromise, and it's about constantly trying to keep that love alive, because trials will come in and interfere with that. 1 Corinthians 13 verse 7, it is the love chapter, but this verse particularly is the deepest to me, and it says that love bears all things, through everything, sickness, things that you go through. Believeth all things. That means believe that the person can be better. Believe that this marriage can last no matter what, but believe that God can take you through it all, hopeth all things, and endureth all things. And I just always think that verse is really deep about how you should feel about your loved one. It's the deepest love.
Right, the perfect love.
Right. And Song of Solomon says in verse 2:16, you are mine and I am yours. And it's like, this is your person. You know what I mean? We are in this together, and it's so great feeling free to know that somebody is gonna love you no matter what. You know what I mean? And it is a blessing. And
yeah, you should have that perfect love, because that he says that perfect love has no fear. And that's a huge burden lifted off of you, not having to worry about if somebody is going to care for you and love you. And the devil does a good job at trying to separate people. That's why we have 50% divorce rate. But we must have God's, design for marriage, and that's going to be above all things is love.
Right. And God knows what a husband's needs will be, and he knows what a wife's needs will be. That's why in Ephesians 5:25 it says that husbands are to love their wives as Jesus loved the church, because women love I can speak for myself, I love to be loved and put as a priority, and that's what Jesus did when he came to establish the churches. He put that as his number one priority. While God is always, it's unspoken, God is always first, but on this earth, this person that you have is your number one priority. And then in Ephesians 5:22, talking about the wives, what's it say about that, babe? How am I supposed to treat
submit?
But
that's not domineering over a woman. It's they have their choice to submit to you, and you should be loving, respectful, so that they want to submit.
Right. I definitely respect you with all my heart. I think I look up to you more than anybody.
Well, thank you, love.
And then a love is limitless. And in Proverbs 17:17 it says a friend loves at all times. And you love when they're mean, they're angry, they look bad, they stink. You love them.
Yeah.
You stink.
Supposed to be your best
You love
friend.
me if I stink.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
So when does a marriage end?
I think
this is supposed to end, or
I think Romans 7:2 will answer that the best way possible. Did you look up that verse?
I have Matthew 19:9 and 5, Matthew 5:32.
Okay, let me see what my Romans 7:2 says. For the woman which haveth a husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. But if the husband is dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband. So with that, as long as he liveth, so what if that person still lives?
So Matthew 5:32 tells us, Jesus says, but I say to you, whoever divorces his wife for any reason except sexual immorality causes her to commit adultery, and whoever marries a woman who is divorced commits adultery. So this stipulation here is basically sexual immorality, adultery.
As in one of the spouses has gone outside the marriage for their sexual desires. So
and this is the only example that he gives for a divorce.
And you want to stay within the authority of the Bible. So anyways, that's basically it.
And it does say Malachi 2:16 that God hates divorce as well. So we want to try to follow his standard for marriage, and we know that you will have the best marriage possible if you're following the Bible.
Yes,
God's word.
God will bless your marriage if you're doing it his way. If you'd like us to go into deeper discussion on any of these topics that we've mentioned of what God says, let us know in the comments. But
we appreciate you. We love you. Be the light.